And good evening, everybody, and welcome to Charlotte Motor Speedway as we get ready for race number 17 of Season 6 of the NSCRA Oreo Truck Series. Tonight we're getting ready for the running of the North Carolina Education Lottery 200. It's going to be an exciting event here tonight under the lights at this D-shaped speedway, and we're certainly looking forward to it. Of course, these drivers gearing up for the final race of this weekend, the Snickers Cup Series, which is going to be the longest race of the season, the Coke 600. Tonight they're going to get a little bit of experience of this racetrack, which they haven't been to since last season. On the pole for this evening's race is going to be Tyson Broad in the 59. Tyson, of course, came into this season near the middle. I think he ended up making his first start somewhere around race number 6. I may be incorrect in that information, but I think that's where he was when he made his debut. But anyway, Tyson Broad still looking for his first Truck Series victory, as he's already been to victory lane in the Mobile Cup Series back in Infineon. He'll start off a long driver who's already been to victory lane this season. That's Emilio Navarrete. Ended up winning at Talladega, but not doing that well in the point standings overall. 29th in points is where Emilio Navarrete currently sits. Certainly a far cry from what he's been doing in the Mobile Cup Series, so he'd love to be able to use Charlotte tonight as a springboard to get himself up there, maybe pick up a second win and challenge Andy Timmons, Chris Dollerton, James McLeod later on in the season for a wild card position. Speaking of James McLeod, he's going to roll off from position number 3. McLeod, even though he's been having some few dismal runs lately in the past few weeks, he still is 4th in the point standings, and he has got himself a good qualifying spot tonight. And alongside of him, Chris Dollerton, who is 5th in the point standings, one of those other multiple-time winners so far this season. Dollerton, of course, the defending champion as well. Would love to be able to tie James McLeod this season for most wins in the Oreo Truck Series here in Season 6. And then Bob Jones is going to line up in the top 5. He is currently 18th in overall standings. Bob Jones still trying to get to victory lane this season. He's been close numerous occasions, just not been able to close the deal. Who knows? Tonight could be the night for the 11 truck. Time to get these cars rolling off, though. We'll give you a quick update on how the points look coming into this evening's race. Brian James is currently the points leader, and that is by a total of 47 points over Dylan Poteet. Yeah, huge point advantage for Brian James coming into this evening's race. 47 points over Dylan Poteet. Trent Dunham is 3rd in points. He is a total of 56 points back, so that just shows you how far the gap is. James McLeod is a total of 66 points back, as he is 4th in points. 67 points back in 5th is Chris Dollerton. Then it's Dougie Shears, Prudence Littlejohn, Andy Timmons, Dylan Young, and Nick Bellardo. That's the top 10 in points. We could also see a good battle for the rookie points lead tonight, because you got Prudence Littlejohn, Andy Timmons, Nick Bellardo, and Lyndon Wright all within, I believe it's a total of, as I'm looking here, it's about, I would say, 30 points. Yeah, 29 points. 29 points separating those four for battling for the points lead in the rookie standings. So that should be a good battle tonight as well. Let's take a look now at our official starting lineup as the command to fire the engines has been given. These trucks will roll off, complete a couple pace laps, and then we'll come back and take the green flag with them here tonight in the North Carolina Education Lottery 200. Certainly some valuable experience can be gained for some of these drivers who will be taking the green flag in the Coke 600, but some of them still concentrating here on Truck Series racing and the Truck Series season. Spencer out top the pace car. This time we will go to green flag racing next time by. Talked about the drivers inside the top 10 in points. Talked about a few of the drivers that could work themselves inside the top 10 in standings tonight that are currently not situated there. Lyndon Wright is 11th in points. Sean Henley 12th. Austin LaPlante 13th. William Duncan 14th. And Noah Hart is 15th in the point standings. A couple of interesting names up there, including two teammates, LaPlante and Noah Hart. Two drivers who really we haven't talked about all season long as far as doing well in the point standings. And I think the same could be said for William Duncan in the 22. Those drivers have now all of a sudden turned up the heat, gotten good consistent finishes, and they've kind of done it under the radar too, because we haven't given them a whole lot of television time due to the fact that they really just haven't been up there. But all of a sudden they are, and now they're getting their TV time, and we're ready to go racing. Are you ready? I'm ready. I know these drivers are ready, and these fans are ready, and the green flag is out, and we're underway here tonight at Charlotte. And you will notice I'm not making the mistake I made last year by constantly calling this place Lowe's. It is Charlotte. I know it's Charlotte, and I've actually made a point of making sure I say it's Charlotte, as James McLeod's going to immediately go down to the bottom of the racetrack on Tyson Broad, looking for the top spot. These drivers so far 2x2. 2x2 is okay. 3 wide. Depends on where it is if it's okay. And right there might not be a good place to do it. Out of turn 4. Bob Jones thinking better of it. Sticks behind the Bass Pro Shop Silverado. Here comes Bob Jones now looking down to the inside as Tyson Broad is almost put 3 wide by Emilio Navarrete. And Bob Jones is going to go down to the bottom and look for the top spot. Here comes Danny Wells, our winner from Darlington. He's going to maybe look 3 wide. Oh, boy. McLeod, he's going to be able to tuck in front of Tyson Broad, so we're still 2 wide racing. The trouble spots for going 3 wide are off of turn 2 and off of turn 4. The drivers then, when they get to the D-shaped front straightaway, they all seem to kind of accordion up into each other. They really don't give each other a lot of room, and that's when our yellow flags start appearing. As now Nick Bellardo looks down to the bottom of Danny Wells. It's almost kind of looking like if you're on the inside line, you're going to go to the front. However, then you're going to get kicked up to the high side and start slipping back. It's been that way for Broad, for McLeod, for Jones, and now for Danny Wells. And I think Nick Bellardo is about to suffer the same fate as here comes the points leader down to the bottom. Brian James trying to continue to open up his points lead over Dylan Poteet in second. And there you see Poteet working on the inside line there with John Radigan coming up the inside line. You know he wants to start chipping away at the huge advantage Brian James has built over Poteet and the rest of the field as they're going to go 3 wide. Oh, yes, they are. Poteet was able to get to the inside. Radigan and Brian James bouncing off of each other. And, oh, I don't like this. Oh, man, that is so close. Brian James, the points leader, getting stuck on the extreme high side. He may have actually gotten a piece of the wall off that corner, but he was able to tuck in line in front of Danny Wells. That was a blessing. Oh, man, Nick Bellardo, though, is in the middle. Cody Lamas going to get shoved into the middle, and this is not good. This is way too close. They are not going to be able to keep this together, I don't think. Dougie Shears now lined up on the inside line behind Cody Lamas, as Nick Bellardo is the lone man out, stuck in the sucker hole, as we call it, right there in the middle. Man, he's got to keep himself a good car and make sure that car doesn't wiggle around, because he's got to have a lot of aerodynamic things going on with cars going by on both sides. So far, so good. Now he tucks down in front of Dunlap. So we're back to double file racing. We escape without a caution. That is pretty doggone lucky, if you ask me. Pete London now looking down to the bottom of the racetrack. Here's another driver who's actually been doing really well in the past few weeks. Pete London in the 13th. He still has a ways to go if he's going to get up there and battle for a spot inside the top 10 in points, because he's currently 19th in the standings. And here comes Trent Dunham on the inside line. Now Dunham, I don't think we've really seen Trent Dunham up at the front battling for the win lately. Trent Dunham currently 3rd in the point standings, though, so he's obviously been consistent to keep himself up there in the point stand. He's having a great run. This I think is probably by far one of the best seasons I've ever seen Trent Dunham have in the trucks. And here comes Dylan Young down to the inside line now. Dylan Young has already checked off his list winning a race this season, which he was not able to do last season, even though he did make the chase. But I think it was the wins that really hurt him as far as whether he contended for the championship or not. He didn't get those extra bonus points for any wins in Season 5. He has a win at Dover. He's looking for another win tonight, but Nick Bellardo's going to the inside line. Now, Bellardo, I think he's like the only rookie with the exception of maybe Andy Timmons and Prunes Littlejohn who's really been consistently up inside the top 10 in the points all season long. He just has not been able to capitalize and go to victory lane. As here comes Dunn LaPrade to the inside line, and here come the two Home Depot cars. They're hard to tell apart, but you have to look at the numbers. Prudence Littlejohn and Alex May working together on that inside line and working their way to the front. They're going to stick LaPrade in the middle. Oh boy, we're 3 wide racing again. Prudence Littlejohn right now, with where she's running, she would take complete control of the rookie points lead as she came in a total of 7 points ahead. No, I'm sorry, strike that. 9 points ahead of Andy Timmons. Oh man, they were close back there. Boy, I'm surprised we're not under caution. That was awfully close. How in the world are they settling this back out to double wide formation? I'm not sure. Alex May, who had a great run at Champs-Élysées a few weeks ago. Not exactly the best of runs at Daytona. Oh, well, actually, no. He did finish well at Daytona, as I recall. They're trying to finish well here tonight. Charles Sanford now looking at the inside line. Here comes Deanna Shelton. First time that we've talked about the 29. She had a pretty good run in her debut at Daytona. And looking to do well here tonight at Lowe's. Or, I'm sorry, Charlotte. Man, I almost had it all good for tonight. As Dylan Young has gotten back to the inside line. Here comes Stephen Pollard III in the 99 and Charles Jackson in the 42. I'll tell you, something good has to happen to that 42 car. Because, you know, if he didn't have bad luck, he wouldn't have any luck at all. The last few weeks have just been absolutely dismal for that 42 team. He ended up winning earlier on this season. I believe it was back at Las Vegas. He was up inside the top 10 in points, and now these bad finishes have dropped him all the way down to 17th in the standings. Charles Jackson obviously does not want to have to rely on a wild card spot to get into the chase for the championship. He wants to get in via top 10. And tonight, if he can pick up his second win of the season, it could be a little bit of necessary insurance to make sure he's going to make the chase. And I'm looking down at the left-hand lower section of the screen. I can't believe it. We've got 7 laps to go. And we have not had a caution flag yet in this 20-lap event. They've been racing hard. You can't say that they've been just out there riding around. They have been side by side, 3 wide a few times, but they've kept it clean as Brian James now looks down to the inside line. And here come a few teammates working there on the inside line. Alex DeMarco and Zach Rogers, couple of rookies, one of which have actually gone to victory lane already this season. That was Zach Rogers at Riki Raceway. And here comes last week's winner from Daytona, Andy Timmons, a 2-time winner this season. He's 5th on that inside line. Right place, right time, maybe? I don't know, but Brian James, again, getting kicked up the outside line. Nobody seems to want to work with the points leader. Seems like as soon as he gets to the front, he gets kicked 3 wide to the outside line. That's happened twice tonight now, as Noah Hart actually had 2 tires down the apron there, trying to keep his car on that inside line, and seen a few other drivers back there could be up here at the front before all is said and done. One of them is the Blue Deuce of Sean Galligan. Also Jacob Lawler back there. Mark Thomas back there, who ended up finishing runner-up in the Daytona race last week. Had a big opportunity to win, just couldn't quite do it. As here comes Max Russell to the inside line, normally known as a road course racer, but doing well tonight here at Charlotte. And there's Andy Timmons. Kyle Thomas there as well. Seen quite a few of the Roush Fenway boys on the inside line. I said Noah Hart. I see Austin LaPlante back there and Stephen Pollard III. And Aaron Williams Jr., if he could get up there with a big run, he could be up in this mix as well. As here we go, down to the inside line comes Andy Timmons, looking to maybe go back-to-back in 2 straight race weekends. Well, just got kicked up at the high side, maybe not. Kyle Thomas going to move down low, and he's going to look for the top position. I've been surprised we have not seen the 50 of Kevin White up here. I was kind of expecting, after picking up his first Stickers Cup Series win last week at Daytona, we were going to see him up here at the front battling the Truck Series, but he has not really made any advances. He's been at the back of the pack for a majority of the evening, as they're going to go 3 wide for the lead maybe. Mark Thomas, Noah Hart, and Kyle Thomas. Oh boy, Noah Hart sliding right up into the 43. And somehow they keep it clean still. 2 laps to go. Mark Thomas now up front, but here comes Jacob Lawler, one of those drivers who's trying to work his way into the top 10 in points. 16th in standings is where Lawler currently sits. And then here come the two Roush Fenway teammates, Stephen Pollard III and Austin LaPlante. You got Dylan Young there. You got Dylan Poteet, Aaron Williams Jr., Sean Gallagher. They still can be in this if all goes as planned. Here we go. Down to the bottom comes Stephen Pollard III, our All-Star race winner. Oh man, he got loose off that corner. White flag in the air, 1 to go. Pollard down low, Lawler up high, LaPlante, Young, Williams, all waiting for an opportunity. Here comes LaPlante, looking to the bottom. Austin LaPlante in the 6, side by side with his teammate in the 99. He was able to get there, but look at Dylan Young. Will Dylan Young try going 3 wide? Can he get to the inside, coming off of this corner? Here he comes. LaPlante slips up, opens the door. Dylan Young tries to fill it. He's trying to do it, can't do it though. Austin LaPlante hangs on. Austin LaPlante, his first Truck Series win of the season. He wins tonight at Charlotte. Right place, right time, no doubt about it. Austin LaPlante, I don't really think he could have planned that. I don't think any of these drivers could have planned a move for the win. It was very difficult for any driver to hold on to the top spot this evening, and I don't think Austin LaPlante could have planned that out. I think it was just the luck of the draw wherever you were. You just had to go with it and hope it was going to put you in a position that was going to finish well. And for Austin LaPlante, it helped him to finish in a very good position. He's going to do a celebratory victory lap, well deserved. And Austin LaPlante for Roush Fenway Racing is going to pick up the win here tonight. And it's the first of the season for that number 6 truck. And he came in, as we said at the top of the program, 13th in points. This was a well-needed boost for a driver who's trying to make his way inside the top 10 in points. I'll tell you, LaPlante is kind of one of those under-the-radar drivers who, in all 3 series, is doing really, really well. 13th in points. Here he's in the top 10 in points in Mobile and Cup Series, and he's been trying to run down Charles Jackson for the points lead in the Snickers Cup Series. So, man, if a guy was having a great overall season, it would have to be Austin LaPlante, and he's going to pull into victory lane here tonight in the North Carolina Education Lottery 200. I'm absolutely surprised we did not have a caution flag, quite honestly. I was expecting the yellow to come out numerous times, and we raced clean and green for the full 20-lap event. But this race is over. LaPlante is the winner. Hope that you guys enjoyed this race. We'll take a look now at our official top 10. LaPlante is going to win. Dylan Young, who's been just kind of looming around the brink of falling outside the top 10 in points. This may help keep him back in contention. He'll finish second. Stephen Pollard III finishes in the 3rd position, so a 1-3 finish for the Roush Fenway boys. Aaron Williams Jr. comes from around nowhere to finish 4th. And Dylan Poteet, he may begin chipping away at Brian James' points lead. He'll get a top 5 tonight in 5th. Jacob Lawler is in 6th. Sean Gallagher came from nowhere to finish 7th. Mark Thomas, great follow-up finish from last week at Daytona. He's been on a bit of a roll lately. He'll finish in 8th. John Radigan, great run for him in 9th. We didn't talk about him at all tonight, with the exception of the time at the very beginning when Poteet was following him up to the front. And Noah Hart is going to finish the evening in the 10th position. Great run for the guy who comes in 15th in points. And a great night for Roush Fenway. They finish in 1st, 3rd, and 10th. Where'd the 17 of Kyle Corbett finish? Let's see. 30th place, so not the best of run for the 17 car, but still pretty good overall runs for Roush Fenway boys. And 25th place is where Brian James, the points leader, finished this evening's race. So with 25th place and Poteet finishing 5th, that's 20 points that Dylan Poteet gained on Brian James. And that means that the points lead has now been cut down to, I think it's going to be 27 points heading into next week's event. So that's about half of Brian James' points lead gone just like that, with a good run by Poteet and a poor run by the points leader Brian James. Can Poteet run Brian James down next week at Kentucky? I don't know. We'll find out next week. But we still got Mobile and the longest race of the season, the Snickers Cup Series, coming up to finish out our Charlotte race weekend. Hope you'll tune in for those. If you enjoyed this race, be sure to give it a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. Here comes your official results. Overall points days and rookie points days heading next week's race at Kentucky, as you've been watching production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.